Today is the Trash Taste Anime Club.
Well, it's just a segment since we are continuing the Anime Club by technically not watching anime.
Yes.
Once again.
Wait, what do you mean?
We did watch anime.
We did watch anime.
Well, no, okay, God. Right. It was Chinese anime. So I guess
the word actually is donghua. Actually,
I'm saying Chinese anime. No, that's so.
What's the
yes, we watched 2 pieces of media. We always try to watch at least like one rough anime kind of thing. So this one was Link Click this time. And we also watched Long Legs, the movie.
which Joey recommended.
I
us to
recommended
watch last time.
So if you want to go and watch our full reactions to these pieces of media, go over to the Trash Taste Patreon where you can go and watch that video right now.
You can also vote. The patrons get to vote for one of the suggestions that we watch for Anime Club this time around. You guys voted for Link Click.
Yes.
And fantastic recommendation. When this one won, I was like, I'm excited to re-experience Link Click.
Wait, have you seen this one before?
Of course, I've seen this one before.
Oh, wait, what do you mean? Of course, I don't like.
He's a Chinese animation connoisseur.
Maybe gone. You know, he's just so locked in on Japanese media. He's like China out of my peripheral. I don't know.
Same but different.
Yeah.
Well, I had heard of Link Click before, but I never actually got around to watching it because I only heard good things about it. So I was excited. And then when I heard it was Chinese anime, I was like, oh, good, because I think I've only ever seen one other Chinese anime.
Yeah.
Which was the, what was it? It was the, I forgot the name of it. It was the one where they were like, King something.
King's Avatar?
That's it.
Okay.
Yeah, that was the only other Chinese
like
anime I watched.
Bro.
Yeah. King's Avatar is an esports Chinese anime, the only good the only decent esports anime that has come out.
Yeah, it was decent.
Because Japanese animation can do a lot of things. Esports is not their specialty, you know. But this is something different. King's Avatar was like, I think the first proper esports anime that correctly goes over the kind of like esports scene. And
I think it was also like the first like Chinese anime that most people were aware of. If I'm not mistaken.
I mean, it was the first Chinese anime I was aware of.
Yeah, same.
And it basically just is a sports anime, except they're playing an esports. And
it was pretty good.
Yeah.
But never mind that. We're talking about Link Click today, which is my second experience watching a Chinese anime.
Yeah, I just love the fact that Joey's like, where do we watch this? And I'm like, Joey, it's not on Netflix. You're going to need subtitles. You're going to come down to our level,
I'm
Joey.
like, is this how you guys feel all the time? I had to turn on subs. I was like, what is this?
I spent forever trying to find a way to watch this.
So I watched it on Bilibili.
Yeah, it's a Bilibili show.
Okay,
as well.
yeah, that's what I figured. Because like I think one of you guys said it was also on Crunchyroll. But Crunchyroll in Japan doesn't work, so I don't have an account for it.
I thought I had a Crunchyroll account. But I guess I don't.
Oh, really?
So, I guess
it expired.
Yeah, I mean, I thought I got given like a juiced employee account, where like I had like a permanent membership, and then I guess they took it away from me.
You got demoted?
I guess so. Because I remember one time I don't know what it was for. I got given the account, and I was like, oh yeah, and then like 2 years ago, I was going to watch my voice acting to see like if they put it in the show, like if it's real.
You couldn't watch it.
I couldn't watch it, so I just gave up.
Fair enough.
So I never found out. But so I was like fucking trying to find it for ages. I didn't know we could watch it on Bilibili.
Yeah.
Was it free on Bilibili?
Yeah.
What the fuck,
The subs were not great.
Yeah, the subs were rough.
We'll get into that.
Okay.
I mean, I watched this when it finished airing originally. I watched season 2 as well.
There's 3 seasons.
You've watched the whole show?
I've watched the whole show.
Is there 3 seasons?
Sorry?
Is there 3 seasons?
There is 2.5 seasons.
Okay.
So the latest arc is a prequel to the show right now, since it's the beginning that you watched has is kind of a different vibe to what the show has turned into. The beginning you guys watch is much more like episodic, and then afterwards it has like an ongoing storyline. Afterwards.
So do you want to explain the rough premise to people before we jump into talking about it a little bit?
Sure. I mean, I think one of the biggest strengths of Link Click is that it really doesn't fuck around with its premise.
Yeah.
It kind of just jumps you into like, okay, there are these 2 guys. And I remember seeing this poster and I'm like, oh, it's a fucking yaoi. It's 100% a yaoi. Yeah. And then my biggest surprise
look at the size of those fingers.
Those hands are way too big.
Those are some yaoi hands right there. And then I watched the episode. I was like, wait, they're just bros. They're just two bros.
I mean, there's a lot of sexual tension there. Though.
Okay.
Come on.
Historians.
Is there a lot of sexual tension?
I felt, especially after episode 2, I was like, there's a bit of sexual tension between these guys.
Can you not eat some ramen with your bros?
That's like an average day for Joey. That's like,
ramen isn't going to eat itself. I need a bro to help me out.
But there's these two guys. One guy can jump into any picture that they have, right? Any picture. So if you have a picture, he can basically teleport himself into whoever took that picture, and
which is such a cool premise.
Like takes over their body
and takes over their body, and he has a 12-hour limit for each picture. And his other guy, so that was the guy in the black hair. Do you remember their names?
Sheng?
No, I don't actually.
Sheng, I think. Oh, the name's right there.
Oh yeah,
Sheng Zhaoxi.
So the black-haired guy, I believe his name is Sheng Zhaoxi, and Lu Guang, which is the white-haired guy.
Yeah.
The white-haired guy can see the events of the photo. So he's basically playing guide whenever Sheng Zhaoxi jumps back into the past and tells him exactly what to do.
It's like those Mission Impossible missions where Tom Cruise is on the ground and Simon Pegg is like, go here, do this, do this. No. So jump in, jump out.
Yeah.
Exactly. And the premise is that they have different jobs. Sometimes it's corporate espionage. Sometimes it's finding some information that is lost to the past.
It's like detective work.
Yeah, it's kind of like detective work. And that's basically the premise.
Well, which, by the way, really cool and unique premise, which I'm surprised we haven't seen in anime yet.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
I think this is a pretty unique take on time travel.
Yeah, I agree.
A lot of the times, this is one thing I really liked is that they didn't spend too much time explaining oh, by the way, this is time travel. Here are how the mechanics work. It's just like, these two guys, one guy can jump to the past, one guy can see into the past.
And it's the whole premise of, because they jump into the subject, and I guess they go into the past because obviously a photo is a fragment of the past. They have to act out like the character that they're in without changing the events, because otherwise the events of the future change, and then a whole paradox thing.
It's very lighthearted for some serious ramifications.
Yeah.
They're all like, we could change the world as we know.
Well, what I think is also cool is that Sheng, the black-haired guy, when he enters whatever the subject is of the picture, he also, I guess, like he's still himself when he's in that new body, but also slightly the personality and the life of the actual person he's inside of is also intermixed with it. So he can feel all of that person's emotions and, all of their events and stuff like that, which a lot of the time, especially in the first episode, it clashes a lot with like his personal like feelings towards the situation, which is like, very creates a bit of tension, because it's like, oh, well, I get how you feel about this like shitty situation, but don't say or do anything too brash, because then the future will change. And, it's this constant like fighting between morals that you see right from the first episode, which again, I liked because they didn't fuck around with it. And it was quite obvious right from the get-go, like, okay, this is the premise, this is the consequences. And it's kind of interesting how they like play around with that. One thing I did really like, though, was the fact that in order to activate their powers, they got to dap up. It's like, Mom, big dog! And then they time travel. I was like, let's go, boys.
Yeah, so do you guys want to explain the events of the first episode? Since all of this is kind of episodic. So I think the first episode, it's one of the strongest first episodes that, I think in a while when I watched this, because it just really tells you everything you need to know about the series that you're getting into.
Do you want to explain it, Connor?
Yeah, so I mean, right away we just jump right into it. We jump into this girl, but is it because maybe I was rewatching it and it was going quite fast in the start? Are we like explained initially why we're jumping into this girl, or is it just like because they just jump into it, right?
Yeah, they get given a job. They're like, we need some information from this corporation.
Yeah.
They explain it super quickly.
Yeah.
Okay. So I was like, what the fuck's going on? And then also it took me like 2 minutes, honestly, to adjust to hearing Chinese.
Yeah.
Like I'm not used to hearing it, and so it was like kind of like whiplash.
Yeah.
As an anime fan, I think when I see the visuals, I'm so used to hearing Japanese or like maybe occasionally English, but mostly Japanese, right?
Yeah.
And then especially because Chinese is such a tonal language.
Yeah.
Getting used to hearing like emotion like being delivered through also and tones being delivered was like really kind of like at first I was like, what?
Yeah.
Because, you know, in a tonal language, obviously tone is very important, but then they're trying to voice act. And so they're trying to give emotion whilst also doing the correct tone to pronounce the word.
Yeah.
I found that, like, it reminded me of when I tried to watch that Thai hentai. I was like, this is so weird. And then by episode 3, I was like, I'm in.
Yeah,
like
totally.
no different. But like
Totally.
the initial one, I was like, oh my gosh, like this is so new. So we jump right into it. We're doing corporate espionage. We jump into this girl who's doing overtime, and initially, like you just get thrown right into. It's Cheng. I don't know.
Yeah.
Am I pronouncing that correctly?
I mean, I can't speak Chinese. So
Yeah, I can't speak Chinese.
neither.
I think it's Cheng Jiao but
Brother, I'm like Japan. I'm like, yeah, I know quite a fair bit. Chinese, I crumble. I like anything. I'm like, so we jump into Cheng, and like right away they are arguing, and it feels like very serious that the fact that they need to make sure they do not change the space-time continuum.
Yeah.
And they need to get this corporate espionage successful, but they don't want to change anything. And right away, Cheng's like, nah, I think I might do my own thing.
Yeah.
And it's like, Cheng, you gotta lock in.
I'm like, bro, this isn't your first rodeo. You should know this.
Yeah. And Lou the entire time was like, just do the mission.
he's like, he gives him. So what happens is Lu Guang gives him like the lines, the fucking play-by-play.
script.
And Cheng Jiao is just like, I'm gonna just.
What if I just improv? Though?
I'm just gonna. Well, we're like an improv brotherhood right here.
Because right initially we jump into it, and then you're kind of okay. So you're like getting familiar with the fact that okay, he is jumping into a character. You're trying to figure out okay, is he this character? Is he this character?
Yeah.
He's both. He's playing the character that in that scenario, but he's also himself.
Yeah.
And then
Emma, I think her name was.
yeah. And like right away we get into a scenario where you're like, really testing the what ifs of the boss like hits on Emma.
Yeah.
And like comes on to him. And Cheng's like, nah, but is it gay though? Is it gay if I'm making out with a man while in a woman's body?
Yeah.
And so obviously they have to, he's like, stick to the scenario, pushes him off, and they continue. And then, so we kind of just play out through the day of Emma. And has a phone call with her mom. It's very sad because her mom's like, are you eating? You better be eating properly.
Yeah.
And basically, we get a taste of like maybe the emotional ramifications of having to jump into people all the time.
Yeah.
Because he has like, this is where we learn where he has the same dreams that they have or gets the same emotions, feels the same emotions that they feel. And then he ruins this girl's life like really casually.
Well, the girl's life.
I'm terrible explaining this.
Yeah. Well, what happened?
Well, girl's life's gonna be ruined anyway. But
what happened is that the girl, her boss who was hitting on her, they have a meeting, and then the boss's wife comes in, storms in, and be like, "You've been talking to that hoe. I know you have a side hoe." And somehow she doesn't blame the boss. She blames her.
It's like, is you the hoe?
I was like, am I missing something here? Like I don't fully understand the cultural difference.
Yeah.
I also felt maybe that because the Bilibili subtitles into English were not great.
It was very funny, the subtitles.
It was really funny, and also just like I felt like I was missing out on a lot of context. In a weird way. Like I could get what was happening, but just some of the direct to English translations in this, I was like, it was clearly just the most broken English ever.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, I'm going to assume they meant it like this.
Yeah, those are like proverbs that we were given at some point. And I was like, I bet this is like an extremely loose idea of what is actually trying to be said.
Which is, you know, I mean, Japanese has a lot of that as well, so it makes sense, right?
Like sometimes I hear one of the proverbs they say, which comes up a lot in this because it's Chinese anime, and I'm like, damn, I bet that sounded fire in Chinese. Yeah. And in English, I'm like, I think I get where you're going. I think I get where you're going for.
In the first episode, and I'll be completely honest, I don't understand how he went from, and this again, my dumbass. We went from the woman walking into him thinking the boss was cheating. Right?
Yeah.
So this woman storms in. How fucking dare you? And then next scene, it's like, and then corporate espionage happened, and I'm like, when did that happen?
Yeah. So as the boss's wife comes in, right? smacks her, throws her onto the ground. The laptop that has all of that information also falls to the ground. And as the boss and the boss's wife are arguing, Shang is like fucking looking at it and being like, all right, I have all the information. And I guess whatever Shang is seeing, Lu can also see.
Yeah.
So Lu sees that through Shang's eyes and goes like, I have all the data now, get out.
It's crazy because you can watch the fucking footage. I'm literally staring at it. I'm like, how did I miss this? Like, I feel like I just wasn't paying attention.
This is the kind of show that you have to lock in when you're while you're doing it. It's like, it's not going to just explain things, or it will explain things, but it's going to explain things very, very fast and expect you to keep up with it.
It was an incredibly dense first episode.
And I think the big conflict in this episode was you saw like a baby bit of it where, you know, when the boss's wife comes in and starts blaming her and fucking she goes full Karen slap on her, right? And Cheng Xiaoxue is just like, I cannot fight back.
Yeah.
And me, I'm as the audience member, you are seeing her being, yo, hit her back. That bitch deserves it.
World star.
It's like everything about your emotions screams, fight back.
Yeah.
She deserves it. But everything that he lives out has already happened.
Yep.
And what has already happened is that Emma didn't fight back.
Yep.
You know, so there's nothing that he can do to change Emma's fate. And that is a conflict that they play with immensely well in future episodes, because as the stakes get higher, you know, without spoiling exactly what happens, as the stakes get higher, you see Cheng Xiaoxue get put into situations where he know that he shouldn't change the past. It's not that he can or he can't, but he knows that the rules that they said he shouldn't change the past. But morally, living out some of these scenarios, he finds himself in, and feeling the same emotions of every person he inhabits, it gets harder and harder to do as the stakes get higher and higher for some of the different cases that he basically has to act out, like script, word for word, script, beat by beat for beat.
Yeah.
And it's a great fucking formula.
Yeah.
It's such a good formula. Honestly, it's
such a cool, unique take again on like the whole time travel thing, but also, in a weird way, it creates like some really good like human drama stories.
Yeah.
Because like in the first episode, for instance, even though, you know, Cheng Xiaoxue is like trying so hard to not do anything that could alter the future of Emma's life, because I guess Emma at this point is like unaware that these events are happening, because then once he comes out of her body and she looks at her phone, she realizes that she had, or not she, but Cheng Xiaoxue in Emma's body had texted back her parents to be like, I miss you, or whatever. And that creates like a really cool, nice bond, and being like, you know, and that as an audience makes you go like, oh, Shang, you know, actually wants her to have like a good life.
He's meddling though.
You know?
He's
meddling.
Then,
you know, maybe he thought, oh, this is like such a small little thing, even though it was different from her actual past, that it couldn't possibly change her future. Lo and behold, though, at the end of the first episode, as Emma is running to the train station to go meet up with her parents, she runs into this random blonde-haired dude, and then next minute, she's dead.
Yep.
So there's this like whole mystery that's built up from the first episode, and I was like, oh, okay. I thought maybe, because I didn't know this was episodic, I thought, oh, maybe second episode we're gonna, you know, maybe go into that case or whatever.
Yeah.
No, instead, because it's episodic, we run into episode 2 and suddenly
it's totally different vibes.
Totally different vibe.
Vibe reset.
Vibe reset.
The girl who died? Nah, fuck her.
Yeah. An old woman comes out and she's like, yo, some bitch has stolen my ramen formula that I need to make some big bank off of, and I need you to go and find this formula.
Yeah.
And so the whole second episode now is these two completely different characters now, where they have to go back in time and basically try and figure out, okay, what's the secret sauce that this girl is putting into this ramen formula that is making everyone go crazy.
I like this episode.
I really like this episode. And it ends up obviously becoming this like very wholesome actual story of this friendship between these two girls who started this ramen shop together.
Spoiler alert, the secret sauce is definitely not Yuri.
Yeah. I think in my reaction, I was just like, it's MSG. She's dumping a fuckload of MSG in that bitch. It's gonna go off.
Yeah, you know, that has been the secret sauce for a while in a lot of ramen.
Right.
But it is basically just a different kind of espionage because they go through the past lives between the partnership between these two girls that grow up to be women as they start their ramen shop and ramen business. And it's them definitely not fucking at all.
No. Yeah, what was up with that? I was watching it and I'm like... Are they just like, why the creators clearly want them to fuck?
Yeah.
Are they like just not allowed?
Nah.
Like, because are you allowed to like portray like lesbian relationships in Chinese media?
I have no idea.
That's what I was wondering. I was like, is this like the boundary? Like, is this how far they can get up to? Like, it's not lesbian though. They don't exist.
I started laughing during like the ramen scene where it's just them sharing a bowl of ramen.
Lady in the shrimp.
And then they have the lady in the shrimp moment.
And they're like, quick, no, it's gay, stop. That's literally.
Bite it off.
Yeah, that's literally. So that's why I was like, is this literally like, because I genuinely, I don't know. Like, I was under the impression that like there are certain types of media you just can't like stories you can't portray. Like I've never heard of have you ever heard of a Chinese gay love story? Like I've never heard of that. Like I'm sure maybe it exists, but so like they were doing that and he's losing his ear like, cut it off, cut off the ramen. Could you imagine Lady in the Tramp, but there's like another dog in the ear. Nah, it's gay, stop.
It's like we crossed the boundary.
Yeah.
There needs to be at least
the Spencers won't allow it.
There needs to be at least 5 centimeters of ramen.
The clearance.
Social distance.
It was such a shame because it was not a shame, but like it was just they'd still managed to create such a heartfelt and like really emotional relationship there, or even implied relationship, whatever the fuck. It was really good. I really liked this episode a lot.
Yeah.
I think what I like as well, especially just within these first 3 episodes, is that like at this point in, as you're watching it, you really don't know the backstory or I guess like the whole identity of even these 2 main characters, right?
You don't know shit.
You don't know anything. But what I really liked about it was that you get to, I guess the characters that Shang Jiaoxi like actually goes into, some parts of their lives also reflect upon his own life.
Yeah.
Like, for example, like, in the case with the first episode with Emma, she obviously has, a slightly, I guess not distant, but I guess like she's far removed from her parents, where it's also hinted that Shang Jiaoxi also might be in a similar situation where like his parents are not in his life, and that makes him feel really sympathetic for Emma.
It's a cool concept to get like someone else's emotions, then have it applied to your own memories.
Yeah. But I think that's what drives a really cool like dynamic in the story, because Shang Jiaoxi like feels sympathy for these characters, he's like, fuck, I really want them to have the better life that I couldn't have, but I can't do it because I'm a spectator.
Is this what happens if like an extrovert was in an introvert's body?
It's like, just talk to them. Just call them, bro.
I'm going to talk to them.
It's like, what are you doing? Just call them.
It's kind of what it felt like sometimes. Where he's kind of pushing the situations forward. And like, I guess, because, like you mentioned, it's episodic. So like the first episode doesn't, like, we have the scenario, and they tease this mystery. And then episode 2, we just get like, love story time. And then it's like 2 different characters that we just met, and then the secret recipe all along was friendship and loving each other.
Well, not quite, but
it was you. You were the recipe the whole time. We get a mystery where she's trying to find the secret ingredient. Turns out the secret ingredient she gave it the whole time.
She knew the
but
entire
she
time.
forgot, and she let it get in the way of their friendship and love together.